Was Wendi Adelson really trying to set up her ex-boyfriend as the fall guy? And why was Katie's testimony not more juicy? Day 3 of Donna Adelson's trial wrapped up on Tuesday. It's a great day for a great day. My name is Sydney Rushing. I'm a criminal defense attorney in the state of Michigan. Now let's talk about it. As a quick side note, this video is going to be a little bit different than the ones I typically make because I don't have all the time to edit this thing down and all of that. So I'm just going to read through the notes that I have and you're going to get what you get. Witness number 11, Jeff Lacasse was called to the stand. He's Wendi's ex-boyfriend. There was a lot of objections by a defense during his testimony because the prosecution was trying to have him testify about when kids start having memories because he is a professor and all these things, but they're trying to treat him as an expert. The defense is like, nah, fam, you didn't tell us that you were going to use him as an expert. We are objecting. The judge did say that they did violate discovery orders, however, that it was trivial, and that he was just going to instruct the jury that they are to disregard that information. And then they moved on because really what the prosecutors were trying to do was to show that the Adelson family was trying to do this before the kids would start having memories. During his testimony, he said that they were a family without boundaries and that Donna was extremely hands-on. He's recalled a time when they were in a hot tub at Charlie's house and that Charlie didn't like Dan. We already knew that. And that he said that he knew people from both sides of the track, which included criminals from a Cuban neighborhood. He also testified saying that Wendi canceled a trip that they were supposed to go on because she gave some weird response saying that she would have to pick up the kids on time, but they were supposed to get back the day before the incident. And he just said the cancellation didn't make sense. He also said that Wendi's TV was broken in around June 18th and that it looked like it had been struck by an object. He said that it looked like somebody who was like 5 to 6 feet tall was the one who hit it. And I'm just like, no, kids throw things. Anything could have broken that TV. Like, come on now. He said that there was no way that he was a secret boyfriend, that he had met her parents several times. When they talked about Wendi wanting to relocate, he literally said that she said the only way that she would relocate is if something happened to Danny. There was a gasp around the courtroom after that one. When he responded telling her that, she's going to have to work with this because she's going to be with Danny for life, she said, well, last summer my brother looked into all options into taking care of the Dan Markell problem, included hiring a hitman. 5 days before the incident, Wendi was frustrated about being denied permission to leave with the kids. He clearly felt when he was testifying that he was being set up as a fall guy because Wendi asked him several times what his plans were for July 18th. He also drove a car that was very similar to the one that was used during the incident. And he's just like, nah, I think they was trying to set me up. Then witness number 12, June Umchinda, was called to the stand. This is Charlie's ex-girlfriend. She had met Donna a few times. She said that everything was normal in the beginning, but after the bump, the one where the undercover officers, approached Donna and all that happened. Yeah, that. She said that Charlie started acting really weird. She said that he'd be up all in the middle of the night, that he had a pew-pew, and he had a bag of clothes that was always packed. She said that Charlie kept his money stapled together, and that's how the hitmen were paid as well, obviously. She talked about how she was jealous when Charlie was talking to his ex, Katie, because they were essentially living together at the time, and she's like, what the heck is with this? She said their entire relationship changed once Katie was arrested. She knew something was going on, but she didn't know what the problem was. She talked about how she was on the balcony at one time with Donna, and Donna said it felt like Danny was back from the grave and was taunting her. The defense impeached her with some testimony that she had given in prior trials. This is what happens when you have to testify in multiple trials. They also said that the taunting comment wasn't a direct quote, but was basically how it came off to her and when Donna was upset. Witness number 13, Ryan Fitzpatrick, was called to the stand. He was one of Charlie's close friends. He said that Charlie was really close with his mom and Wendi and that Donna did not like Dan. He knew that. And he said he didn't really pay attention to Charlie's girlfriends and essentially that he had a type. He's like, they all look the same essentially to him is what he said. He said that Charlie kept his money stapled together, 10 $100 bills stapled together, and that's of course how the hitmen were paid. He said that Charlie changed a lot after the bump and that Charlie made a statement, you can get away with anything as long as you keep your mouth shut. Dun, 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 dun. But again, Charlie's already convicted, right? Charlie's not on trial here. Then Judge Everett got after the defense again for being delayed in objecting to evidence and giving a pretty shitty excuse as to why the objection was delayed. They said, oh, it's just due to the amount of evidence. He basically said that unless it has to do with Donna's constitutional rights and it affecting those, the objections are waived. Unless they were made prior to that deadline that he had given before that had been extended multiple times. And witness number 14, Mary Hall, was called to the stand. She's a forensics accountant. She's talked about Luis Rivera and his spending habits. She said he was constantly overdrafting his accounts, but prior to Dan's unaliving, he had pulled a sum of money out and then didn't overdraft his account for 4 months, aka he was using another form of cash during this time. After the incident, he purchased a motorcycle and a car. She said that Garcia purchased several cars after the incident. She also discussed text messages between Charlie and Katie, where Charlie offered financial assistance and helped with her car situation and even got her a new car at one point. She said that Katie was paid by the Adelsons' various businesses and that Donna signed those checks to Katie. She said that Donna managed Charlie's personal life. She booked his hotels, his flights, paid his bills, everything. She literally ran his life. She said that Katie's cash deposits were higher in 2014, and the biggest one happened in August, which was the month after the incident. She said Katie stopped receiving money from the Adelsons after the bump. And then the defense asked about the transfer of management between Harvey and Charlie and a little bit of defense stuff, but not really too much. Then witness number 15 was called to the stand, who I personally think was a little bit of a waste of time, but it is what it is. Clarice Labreda was called to the stand. She's a longtime employee of the Adelson Institute. She said only Donna and Harvey had access and looked at patient records. She said she never saw Katie work there. She said she never received checks outside of the regular payroll. She said that she never heard Donna speak bad about Danny, but again, they only had a working relationship, so she really didn't see Donna outside of work. And that's all she had to offer. Then there was witness number 16, who I was waiting for, but I thought her testimony wasn't as juicy as I thought it was gonna be, was Catherine Megbanua. Now, we call her Katie throughout this, okay? She's already the convicted go-between person, AKA like Donna, she called all the shots for the men, literally and figuratively. She was also an ex of Charlie Adelson. She was convicted in her trial and then again during a retrial. She doesn't have a plea deal in this, but she could potentially seek a reduction in sentence afterwards. She hasn't been promised anything for her testimony. She said she didn't take immunity the first time around because it would implicate her child's father. Her testimony is different this time. And she said it's time that the truth needs to come out. She said that Charlie is the one who set up the hit and that she was the middle woman between everyone. She said that he set it up at a block party saying like, he got in the car and that asked if she knew someone who could hurt someone. And she said, yeah, I know this person. His name's Garcia. She said that Charlie said the money came from his mother and it was damp and started to mold. And that's because Charlie said that Donna literally washed the money, literally, not like in the, kingpin way, but like literally washed it with, water and soap. Crazy. And then the defense came up and made some clarifications, said that she previously lied under oath, AKA you can't believe her here this time either, right? Because she said something totally different before. And then also said that Charlie never said that the event was to benefit his mom or his sister. Then the last witness of the day, witness number 17, was Sergeant Christopher Corbett. He's with the Tallahassee Police Department. He did a lot of the cell phone tracking and extractions. He used the Cellbrite technology to take this all down. He did have some interesting maps put up where he put pins in, and it was kind of easy to follow because it was very technical and there was a lot of data. One thing that was crazy is that when he said no one number matched all the location, but there was a common number, that number tied back to Harvey Adelson. And no, it is different. His number is different than Donna's and Wendy's and Charlie's and anyone else's. This one actually goes back to Harvey. It's not just like a cell phone that was, under his name, but it was his cell phone because he really hasn't been implicated at all in this thing. Everyone's like, oh, poor Harvey, but it looks like he may have been there. But he discussed Then he discussed some of Donna's emails to Wendi and how she wanted Wendi to move to Miami. She told Wendi to get to Dan psychologically, aka she had the action plan where Wendi was supposed to have the kids take a picture outside the Catholic Church, say they had been baptized. He discussed texts between Donna and Charlie and how they needed to try and talk Wendi out of buying the house in Tallahassee. And then when Charlie said that he successfully did that, Donna praised him and said that he was a miracle worker. Donna complained a lot to Charlie about Dan. One of her messages specifically asked Charlie to delete it after reading. She was going to call him when she had a moment of privacy. It was a really weird thing to say that she was going to delete it or to delete it afterwards, right? But then she followed up saying, like, I need to talk to you privately about Dad's party. So that is the wrap up for day 3. Sorry that this format's a little bit different, but this is just what I had to give to you guys, the time I had to dedicate and all of that. So I thank you for being here. Thank you for following along. And here's the question of the day. Now, after today's testimony, should Wendi be more worried? Let me know in the comments. But also, if you like this format better than how I usually do it, let me know that too, because it was kind of easier to do this one and just read it as I went versus, cutting and, cropping and all that stuff. So let me know in the comments, but the other way, it is a little bit crisper and cleaner, right? But let me know.